Money is cheap. He hires 2 people, he expands. Life is good. Now, picture David in 2023. The oven is paid for, but his loan payments have quietly doubled. Not because he borrowed more, not because he made a bad decision, because that number changed. The one he never voted on. And suddenly, David is laying off one of those 2 employees and wondering if he should have ever expanded at all. That number is called the federal funds rate. And understanding it is understanding almost everything about modern economic life. Here's how it works. Banks, the actual commercial banks where your money sits, lend money to each other. Every night. Constantly. This is how the plumbing of finance stays functional. Banks are always short here, long there, moving reserves around. The rate they charge each other for these overnight loans is the federal funds rate. Now here is where it gets interesting. The Federal Reserve, America's central bank, does not directly set this rate. What it does is far more powerful and far stranger. It sets a target, a range.
How a number made up by bankers controls the price of everything you buy. There is a number you have never chosen, never voted on, and probably never thought about. But this morning, it decided how much your rent costs. It influenced your car payment. It shaped the interest on your credit card. It moved through your grocery bill, your mortgage, your student loan, and the salary your employer decided they could afford to pay you. You did not get a say. Neither did your government. Not really. A small group of bankers said it, and they meet about 8 times a year to do it again. This is not a conspiracy. This is just how it works. And once you understand it, you will never look at a price tag the same way. Let us start at the beginning. Not with textbooks. With something real. Picture a man named David. He owns a small bakery in 2021. Business is decent. He takes out a loan to buy a second oven. The interest rate on that loan is low, almost impossibly low.
We'll decide whether to hire or wait. We'll check their savings account and feel either slightly better or slightly worse about where things are headed. Here is the question worth sitting with. We built a global economy so deeply dependent on credit that we gave one institution the power to cool or heat it for everyone on Earth. And that institution answers to no voter, runs on models that have been wrong before, and makes its biggest decisions in genuine uncertainty. Is that a design flaw? Or is it simply the most honest thing about how money actually works? The number will be set again in a few weeks. You will feel it. You just will not hear it.
Or screams. The Fed is either brilliant and necessary, or it is a corrupt institution serving the ultra-wealthy. The honest answer is neither of those framings is precise enough. The Fed has genuine power and genuine limitations. It cannot directly control inflation caused by supply chain disruptions or energy shocks. It cannot force banks to lend or consumers to spend. It operates on a lag, meaning every rate change takes 12 to 18 months to fully work through the economy. It is constantly making decisions with incomplete information about a system that is too complex to fully model. And yet, it remains the most powerful economic institution in the world. Not because it is all-knowing, because everyone acts as if it is. Markets move before the Fed acts, based on what traders think the Fed might say in its next statement. The Fed's words alone, even without any actual rate change, can move global markets by trillions in hours. That is not economics anymore. That is psychology at planetary scale. So where does that leave David and his bakery? And you? The number will change again.
It always does. Rates will fall when the economy slows enough, or rise when prices accelerate again. The committee will meet. They will vote. A press release will go out at 2 in the afternoon Eastern Time. Within seconds, mortgage rates will tick. Bond prices will shift. Currency markets will move. And somewhere, someone who never heard of the federal funds rate will be approved or denied for a loan they needed. We'll decide whether to hire or wait. We'll check their safety.
And prices stabilize. The mechanism they use to bring down the price of your groceries is to make enough people financially uncomfortable that they stop buying things. That is not an exaggeration. That is the model. Technically, it is called demand destruction. It sounds clinical. It is not. Now zoom out. America exports this number to the world. Not officially, not through any treaty, but because the US dollar is the world's reserve currency, when the Fed raises rates, capital flows toward America. Investors chase higher yields in dollar-denominated assets. That means money leaves developing economies. Their currencies weaken. Their import costs rise. Countries that borrow in dollars, and there are many, suddenly find their debt is significantly more expensive to service. In 2022 and 2023, Sri Lanka ran out of foreign reserves and collapsed. Pakistan went to the IMF. Egypt, Ghana, Zambia all faced severe currency crises. The causes were multiple and local, but the Fed's rate hikes flowing through global dollar markets accelerated every single one of those situations. One committee, 12 people, meeting in Washington, moving a number. And the effects ripple into grocery stores in Karachi, fuel queues in Colombo, and import costs in Accra. This is the part where most finance content either cheers or
trillions of dollars through a program called quantitative easing, buying up mortgage bonds and government debt to stabilize the system. It worked, more or less. The financial system did not collapse. But here is the quiet cost nobody advertised. Those near-zero rates stayed for years. Cheap money flooded the system. Asset prices exploded. Stocks surged. Property values shot up. If you already owned assets,